Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. We are September 21st, 1985, here this episode, and mainly new people that are featured new-ish, meaning either new guys or guys that have been around less than 6 months this episode, except for the Von Erichs, of course. Whenever they can be featured, they will be Hollywood John Tatum and Mike Bond opening the program here. Tatum, obviously, a guy who they're pushing a little bit. His push will increase, especially over the next couple of weeks. I'm up through about 3 weeks from now, and I can definitely say if you are a John Tatum fan, things are going to get interesting here. If you're not, well, then probably not a guy worth checking out. But, really basic things Bond used again to get a talent over. Bond actually a very good enhancement talent. And, we see a lot of back off by John Tatum. Tatum, best, I think, known for his time in the UWF, which we are eventually going to cover Mid-South / UWF here. So stay tuned for that if you want an episodic series of them as well. Big backbreaker out of nowhere by Bond, and actually looks like he's going to get a victory in the midpoint of the match, but does not. Tatum comes out the back door and manages to be successful. Knee drop, again, looks good for Bond, but doesn't get what he wants out of it. A lot of walk and talk by Tatum. Tatum does get your victory. He uses, he uses a bit of a surprise finish, but also Bond cost himself, heads to the second rope. He's done this before. Bond going to the second rope. This time attempts a splash, doesn't get very far, except a few knees in the stomach, and this leads to a break for Tatum. Tatum hits kind of a front drop suplex. Think one-man gang in his WWF run, if you need a visual, and gets a victory. Hollywood John Tatum, your victor here. Then we move to a six-man tag team already in progress match. The Von Erichs and Brian Adias versus One Man Gang. Mark Lewin and I guess substitute Jack victory. Lewin and Adias are the combatants to start the match. Lewin heads to the outside quickly in a hurry as Adias asserts his power a little early, and Adias made to look stronger here. Kevin and Kerry waiting on the apron. Adias looks strong until the one-man gang comes in. Kerry comes in to help his friend, but opens up a double team from the heels. Use of the referee so important in a lost art today. There can't be heels if there isn't any cheating. There can't be cheating if the referee is looking. So, basic breakdown. Anyway, Kerry comes in. He finds himself in the clutches of Mark Lewin, which is not a fun place to be if you're Kerry Von Erich or anybody else. Tag off to the one-man gang. Gang continues nerve holds, and they cut the ring off. Good motion there, as the ring being cut off is quite a big deal. And so we move to a sunset flip by Kevin Von Erich. Gets the 3 count over Mark Lewin, and amazingly, the Von Erichs are victorious, at least for a moment, but the brawling continues, and everybody goes nuts. We then move to the next match in the bunch, which is Jim Powell versus Brian Adias. I don't necessarily like when the same guys are back-to-back matches, obviously showing that they are taped at different times. The old image, at least that I had when I was a kid, maybe you can comment below. When you were a kid, you thought the matches were live as you watched them. Obviously, we learned later that they're not. But the idea that they were live added extra excitement, at least for me as a youngster, 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever have you. Jim Powell versus Brian Adias. Adias, again, a guy who, has been treated really well, especially since his return. Not so well in the first iteration, but he was in his rookie time. Amazingly, too, Adias for a second time goes for a leapfrog and manages to, I wouldn't even say botch it. He just kind of lands a knee instead of going through with the leapfrog drop kick by Adias. Powell is used as an enhancement talent here, as many believe he should have been all along. But then we see a big body slam attempted into a press slam, actually, by Adias. Adias goes for the body slam, but then goes for the press slam. Big splash and a 3 count there. Then we move into the next contest of the bunch, and Powell is before leaving. He's none too happy with his loss. Mark Lewin and Rangai, again a guy we don't know much about. Lewin is being this Rangai character is kind of sort of his sacrificial lamb of the day. Rangai does not want anything to do with Mark Lewin. Lewin sends him to the outside, into the chairs at ringside, which is never a pleasant place to be, especially if you're an enhancement talent. Gary Hart, very satisfied at ringside with his process. Lewin gets the sleeper on, and out goes Rangai, and the nature of Gary Hart is that he now must wake up the opponent as per the rules, the predetermined rules here. Again, the Von Erichs in your main event with obviously Kevin and Kerry versus the dynamic duo of Hernandez and Adams. We've seen this many times before. Always good, perhaps repetitive. Obviously, Mike Von Erich on the shelf doesn't help things. Usually you can throw Mike in there for a breakup, but obviously he is incapacitated, unfortunately, at this point in time. Adams and Kevin start early. Kerry and Kevin, obviously, your most prolific of the Von Erich tag teams. But just thinking about that family, you know, they've gone through David's passing and now Mike in less than a year and a half, not passing away, but having the surgery and the botch and all that. Just a lot. And we see a roll-up attempt into a backslide. Kevin can't get it. One thing I think Kerry does really well that I think I've never mentioned before, but noticing it now, is he does kind of square off, hands up, ready to fight stance after every offensive maneuver that, you know, could be strike based. Just something really small, but anyway, big deal. So Kevin in the wrong corner with the head scissors. Adams gets rolled over, and Kevin really kind of grinds that head scissors into an almost neck vice. You know, then we kind of see the continuation there of Gino Hernandez going a bit aggressive here. Kevin cut off from his brother and corner and partner and all of that stuff. Kerry is comes back in, gets cut off on the outside of the ring by Chris Adams, and again the Von Erichs are in peril for the majority of the match. Kerry comes back in, tries to clean house, but Chris brings a chair into the affair. Referee gets rid of the chair. Kevin wants to use it but throws it away. And, you know, one thing I will say is at least when guys get disqualified in 1985, it makes sense. There's a weapon, there's cheating, there's a reason. Not that there's a bunch of disqualifications now, but disqualifications almost now on Raw and to a lesser degree AEW, and they're pretty good about they don't do as many. But needless to say, they're kind of arbitrary. Speaking of non-arbitrary, though, the claw by Kerry Von Erich gets things going in their direction until a low blow shot from Adams. Then we see Kerry pair off with Gino Hernandez for a minute. He gets a claw on him. Kevin was using the claw on the other member of the team. And the Von Erichs, again, are looking to be successful. Referee a bit frustrated with them. The heels come from behind again because they'd snuck outside. Kevin wants to handle this, and Gino and Chris Adams do not want to get completely tied up. Referee cannot keep things going. There is use of weaponry here, and they bring the scissors in as the hair had been cut earlier, and they cut the hair off of believe it's Gino Hernandez, a piece of the hair, not major hair, but that's where we close that. The hair of one half of the dynamic dudes in the air a little bit. And till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.